Hello YouTube, welcome back to another war video. So this is going to be a couple of wars together. Again, my schedule is pretty crazy at the moment, so I'm just trying to upload here and there wherever I can. If I feel like I've got any interesting or different fights and things like that, just so people can watch them. Still have that interaction with the community, and where I need it, call me a scrub, be involved and let me know. Anyway, again, this is the season with SSX. This is a pretty chilled out season for myself in particular. Bringing the team of Red Magneto, Nebula, and Black Widow, who I basically kind of like assigned myself. We're going to go on path 1 in section 1. There's only one fight for me to do in this bit, and that's just against this Green Goblin up here. So, Green Goblin on the Masochism over Time node. Green Goblin is metal, so Magneto's going to help deal with that. I feel like I got really bad RNG with my ability accuracy at the start, so I purposely back up, wait to see the metal, and then I think, right, okay, so I've now got a 70% chance of my parry sticking with GG not shrugging them off. First one he shrugged off, so Masochism kicked in. Then he shrugged off the second one, and I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I was like, right, okay, let me just build special 3 anyway. There I got caught on a backdraft, so luckily for me that just means a little bit of extra power. I'm just waiting for this Green Goblin to throw his special 2. Take it all into the block, well, the first bit especially, just in case. Again, just trying to be safe. I know that I'm having a very relaxed season, but that still doesn't mean I want to die or like screw the Alliance over. And we're coming up against a very, very good opponent in SPBA. So we're going to see how that all works. But now you can see that I built up special 3 and I just decided to throw it. I know Masochism hasn't triggered yet, so there's a chance that he could take away all the bleeds. But I just want the damage, especially just to see how far we've got with it. And then 8 of the bleeds from the 38 stick. The others get healed from Masochism. And the fight's over. So that's my one Magneto fight-ish sort of done. And now we come into this EMP Apocalypse. Now, I've never done this fight before. And you can see here, I had a look, scout the path early. It was a rank 4 against my rank 3 Nebula. I didn't bother turning on suicides or anything like that. And you can see my boost here. I had the invulnerability and overflow, so just thought, oh, well, if there's a time to do it, I'll just use it for this and then the next fight together. And then that's my invuln gone and done, so we're fine. So anyway, coming to this Apocalypse, so the game plan was to kind of do the MP Blaze method of trigger Dex, try and get rid of it. You see there, trigger it, try and then trigger it again. But my a few times when I went to Dex, it just kind of held block or parried, so that was a bit unfortunate this war. But you see there, because he threw the special 1 while I had the EMP charges, it actually gives me 20 shocks. So now when I parry, I can transfer the 20 shocks over to them. And you can see now that the 20 shocks itself has just done loads of damage to them. So now I've just got to be conscious of the bubble shield. Now ideally what would happen here is that I would have been able to Dex out of that other hit. But I can see I'm on 7. I know I'm going to take at least 3 hits from the special 1. So now I'm at 8. I have no way of getting around if he throws a special 1. So I take the 2 hits. Then trigger the bubble shield. Now he can throw the special 1 whenever he wants. Or we can do this and we can throw them special 2. In hindsight, to get this fight done quicker, I should have parried there. And then I would have instantly gone back to 20 charges after this special 2. And then we could have just ended the fight even quicker. But now we're slightly in a different system, and we're still very comfortable in this fight. There's nothing really to ever worry about. I'm shock immune. All I've got to make sure is that when it comes to the bubble shield itself, that I'm just prepared for every 10th hit. Apart from that, the block damage just go up. There I wasn't quite sure on the spacing of how that punch would land from APOC, so I just do that. But then you can see here, I can see that APOC's health is so low that I'm just going to go for it and finish the fight with the full attack bonus. So yeah, Nebula's pretty safe. Most people have seen it in especially higher alliances. She's pretty safe. Most people will boost a lot bigger. Probably run suicides for extra damage too. So that should be a pretty simple fight for, I'd say, the vast majority of players. We're coming to this Silver Surfer now. I did think about using Nebula for this, but obviously Silver Surfer is kind of like immune to shock, so he would take 0 damage from the special 2. I know Claire can do it from experience over previous seasons, so I just decided to run with her, let it be quite smooth. Remember about the Mystic Dispersion global triggering. Just leave myself in bleed phase and get myself through the fight that way. Again, some people would possibly choose to use suicides for this. They definitely would be running Mystic Powerback boosts. And then just remembering about the global and going through the system. You see the timer just came back then. I was trying to think of the word then, that's really bad. So I do the dexterity trigger again and get rid of it. And that's all this fight is. It's just a really simple rinse and repeat. Because you're in bleed phase, the special 2 is going to keep healing you. And yeah, I think I do get tagged at one point if I remember right. This was a couple of days ago now when I did this. I'm just kind of uploading, or at least editing this video while I'm away. I'll try and upload it as well while I'm away. But there's no guarantee that will work that well. But hopefully as soon as I'm back and I'm pretty much set up properly, I can go back to normal with the videos and the live streams and everything else. Here I messed up because of Mystic Dispersion. So you see there, I was just doing the little special free dance. And now we can throw this. So I don't have the craziest amount of charges, so it's not going to do a huge amount of damage, especially against a rank 4 Surfer. But it does enough. And we can now go back to trying to get the special 2s, baiting out the special 1s from Surfer. I'm just going for it that way. So this should be the last set of Mystic Dispersion charges that I have to deal with. You can see there. His health, it was a decent amount. I'm trying to remember, I'm sure it was about 190,000. I thought that might do it because she seems to always crit on her specials whenever I use her. And yeah, that's about it. So now we come up to this Nimrod shared fight. Again, most people would have seen this done with a Nebula in the past. So I used 1 potion to heal her up to this health, and then use a combat regen to kind of just go through and do the rest of the fight. You see there was no other boost used. Literally just that combat regen. Aim the game, go up to the 5 shocks to fully shut down a robot. Get the special 2 eventually, parry, and then just drag it out a little bit so I get past the power lock or the special power lock. And then I can just drop a special 2 and watch it do some good damage to Nimrod. Now, that was the initial game plan. I was like, right, okay. That's what everybody does. That'll work for me. And you're going to see here that I'm just trying to get up to this 20th charge. Again, getting ready to dex these special 1s. Get some more charges after. And now I'm at 20 charges, so I'm ready to go. I parry there, push him past the special, but because I know how long the special lock lasts, I just take my time, drag it out. And the shocks weren't actually enough to kill him this time. Whether that was because it was a rank 4 Nimrod against my rank 3 Nebula, whether it's because I hadn't 0 boosts on. So, yeah, possibly would have been better going for the special 3 as I had no boosts on. But, you know, this is how these things go. Again, put them shocks on them there, thought that might kill them. But he was still going, so eventually I just finished them off there with Nebula. And yeah, it's an easy fight. Now this one, again, I'm going to use Nebula for it, so I'm going to be heavily using Nebula this war. And this is probably the first time people have seen me doing mini-bosses or shared fights in SSX. Again, like I said, I've just used a very, very, relaxed, calm atmosphere to the whole season this season. not really doing much where I can get away with it. So this fight, again, build up to 5 charges. Then I'm going to take a special 1 onto the block. There I was just giving Dragon Man some, some warning hits. Like, come near me and I'm going to end your life. So, there you go, he's had his warning. Take the special 1 to the block. That way the power charge disappears. And now because I have the charges, it'll disappear for the rest. Again, same with that parry. Because I have the charges, his ability accuracy is nothing. So I can go in late to try and hit combos and he can't parry me or anything. At one point, the stand your ground mastery does come into play. But because of the lack of boosts and everything else in this fight, it ends up being almost a 4-minute fight against Dragon Man. But again, there was no real danger at any point. Especially not if people got boosting. There's only one point where I messed up. I think it was relatively early on. I went to Dex, but it was a late Dex apparently, and then I ended up parrying, which was a little bit annoying. But my plan in this one was just a special 3 cycle and try and do some damage. But here I'm trying to bait out a special 1 and he won't give it to me. There, that was the Dex that I was talking about. So while I had the 20 shocks, I just decided to throw the special 3 so I could do more shock damage to them. You can see here it starts ticking away, but now I've got to build up my shock charges again just to be able to make sure that his ability accuracy is shut down and get the special 2 out of them now. They can't power gain, so I'm safe. The stand your ground mastery saves me a little bit there. I should have reacted better. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning or something. I literally just woke up, saw Dragon Man was open, and I was like, why not, let's go for it. But if you're running suicides and boosts, this fight's probably close to already being over. If you could have hit that parry like I did earlier in the poison phase, if you could bait a heavy attack out quick enough, you could probably throw the special 2 with the shocks and kill Dragon Man as well. But again, this fight is just relatively pretty safe. The fact that I'm doing it like this, as you can see, it just shows you really how good Nebula can be in war and how much uses she has. Again, the dupe ability, so the signature ability of increasing her combat power, would slightly help, but there's a few champions that I'm not lucky enough to have duplicated yet, including like Kingpin, Null, Nimrod. So there's a few that I'd really like to just get the dupe on. You see here, this time with a special 3, because of when I threw it and how Dragon Man instantly throws a special 1, it's going to give me a lot of chances to actually start putting some hits onto him. So we're going to actually get a decent amount of shocks that fall onto Dragon Man all the time here now. And you're going to see just that shock damage, the numbers are just ticking away. It doesn't really ever stop. I've still got all my the enhanced weapon thing from Nebula. That's still going, so you can see that I'm just absolutely laying in the damage to him now. That's finally disappeared, but I'm back up to a special 2 already. Still with the 20 shock charges, because you don't use any for the special 3. And so this fight is now just going to be get back to that special 3 again, throw 1 more, and end up winning the fight. So that was one of the wars. Again, Battle Group 1 this time did a lot better. I think we ended on like 2 deaths or something for the whole battle group, which for an alliance that isn't pushing a crazy amount, that's really, really strong. It's really good. You'd like to think if they were pushing and it was more serious, they'd probably end on maybe 0 or 1. But again, a pretty good solid showing from the alliance. And that was one war. This war was another war. I only did, I think it was 3 fights in this war. I brought in Warlock. I looked for, there he is, Apocalypse and Cable. So for some reason when I tried to drag Cable across the first time, it didn't work. But now, again, as always, I'm always activating Defiance just to be sure. I'm pretty sure it activates on its own, but I always like to just be sure and make sure that that's the case. And so, we're going into here. We're going on to path 1 again, I believe it was. And this time, we're going to come up against a Immortal Hulk. So, I did this earlier in the season, did it with Nick Fury. was the bit of a trap, but you can still get out of it quite easy. Just go into Fury's second life and get around the fight that way. This time I brought in Warlock. And again, just put on a 10% boost here. So, a really weird interaction that I've kind of forgot happened in this fight. And you're going to see it a little bit later on. So, do a reparry to, obviously, 1, stack up the infections a lot quicker. And 2, get rid of some masochism. And now, because they have willpower on, and they have the healing from the masochism node anyway, the infection's going to take over. It's going to keep affecting his power. It's also the reason why I'm landing the heavy attacks, so that I can then just get rid of this. And again, this is against mags, so I know quite a few people in mags. So this was another decent war. SSX's matchups have been pretty tough, especially this season, because we came in with such a high war rating for a season that we were like, oh, okay, let's just chill out. Yeah, it was pretty rough and tough. But yeah, so here I'm just waiting. I was going to bait out the masochism, but decided not to, because with him having the infection, the second hit will trigger the armor break anyway. So, or the last hit with the hammer coming down. So that will trigger an armor break anyway, even after masochism was triggered at the start. So it doesn't really make a huge difference. You can see there that Immortal Hulk has lots of gamma. 3 infections up at the time, so not too bad. I've now got to dodge a few hits while he's immortal. Get ready for the timer. But because of Warlock, because then he didn't heal again, he instantly went back into like another immortal phase after the first immortal phase, and that's why I got smacked in the face. But then I just threw the special 2, not caring, and yeah, he dropped down pretty quick. So now we go on to section 2. Again, they told us to be a little bit more serious in this war. So you're going to see here, I apply a 150% power back boost and an advanced special start. So plan here with Apocalypse is just get the special 2, get the disorient immunity, and just end this negative. Remembering that obviously you still have the combat or the strike nodes, the really terrible nodes that are just absolutely stupid, but the game keeps constantly throwing at us. And so I'm just waiting now for the inverted controls again, just like that last war. Just giving them a little warning shot, just letting them know that if they come near me, I'm going to hurt them. And again, you can see there that the Delirious is on. That time it goes off very quick. I'm going to throw the special 1 here just to get the extra debuffs and some extra damage. I'm going to bait out Mr. Negative's special 1, or special 2 even, sorry. Fully dex that. Disorient immunity now can parry fine. Parry heavy, get all the degen and all the damage over time buffs re-triggered. And then end the fight. It was less than a minute. Again, most alliances that are really pushing in war, you probably see them big boosted. You probably see them with at least half suicides on Apocalypse, 1 special 2, and definitely the special 1 after that fight would be over. But now we come into this Annihilus, so I can dash back now without worrying about the disorient. Just got to worry about him constantly getting his unstoppable that he seems to be wanting to trigger constantly right now. And be ready to bait his special 1s. We get early up to the special 2, so you see just the damage that's doing now. The ramp up's pretty good. There I managed to dex the special 1. I believe I do get caught by it in this fight at some point. But I also want to try and, if I can, throw the special 1 and then try and refresh the debuffs. Was the plan. You see there that the concussion stopped the unstoppable. It did it again there. But he's not really ever in range. Then I get hit by it. And now I'm going to lose the ability to be able to keep the special 2 damage. But you can see here the fight's pretty much already over. Dex a special 1 again there. and I thought that would have finished it, so I did my short combo. Didn't work out that way. This is Apoc's last fight anyway, well, my last fight of the war, and that's it. So just a quick recap of the last couple of wars. Really hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much, and I'll keep trying to put some on as and when necessary, or where I think it's useful. Thank you for watching.